What's up, everybody? Happy almost Friday. It's KV at GhostCultMag.com. How's everybody doing out there? It is the weekly ritual, GhostCultMag.com's weekly rock and metal news show here on the web. Relatively going on every Thursday, unless I have a travel day. How you doing? How you doing out there? How's everybody? It is a crazy time in the world. I hope everybody's well. Thanks for everybody tuning in. It's always my pleasure to serve you, and I serve at the pleasure of the audience of Ghost Cult. And just stoked to make it through another week. Got a busy show. Back for the second week in a row. Had a lot of shit going on. I have a lot of things to talk about. There's so much drama in the LBC and everywhere else in the rock and metal world. In case you're new here, but you might be, GhostCultMag.com is a 24/7, 365 news source of rock and metal and some adjacent genres of news. Weird in the Woods is here. Appreciate everybody that's starting to tune in on all the streaming platforms. The best experience for this is YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm also on TikTok. Your questions will always be answered for free. But also, I always appreciate a tip. Let's bust in the tip menu. And I'll run it down real quick. And then I'll get on with the show. I've been told I've been dragging the show out a little too long and a little too much minutiae at the top. So I'm trying to do better. I'm just trying to do better. The Snarky Fox is here. Sun Voyager's here. What's up, Killer? Killer. Sun Voyager. Such a big fan. And good to see you. And keep me posted on what you're doing and what's going on with y'all. But here's our live stream price menu for everybody that's not on TikTok. You can pay us with Cash App, Ko-fi, or PayPal, or super like or super thanks, or a subscription on YouTube. I haven't quite figured out the secret sauce for subscriptions and what I would offer, but I think initially if enough people wanted to subscribe to us on YouTube and become a member, which we do offer memberships at a very low price there for our price point to tip us, but also like if enough people became members of our channel, I would do like private live streams and secret things. James on Folsom is here, Coffee Girl is here, and someone I know in real life, Dana. Good to see you. I love that it's Retro Vertigo, Dana. That's so appropriate, and thank you. I was just listening to some Patton and Bungle earlier, and I have insane Faith No More news. If you didn't already know about it, I was actually going to send it to you and all my friends because people want to know. So here's our show. If you catch the first half of the show, Retro Vertigo, Dana, you will get all the tour dates and festival stuff that's going on, at least quite a bit of it. So, yeah, good times. First and foremost, before I put on the deck and go through the announcements, I'm going to pop open a Liquid Death. I just want to give a public service announcement. So if you watch the Glacially Musical podcast this week, I drank one of these. These are the brand new small can Liquid Death sodas or seltzers and sodas. This is root beer raft water, seltzer flavored, root beer flavored seltzer. And I have to tell you, it's fucking terrible. I don't like stevia in the first place. And this is just fucking abysmal. Please don't buy this. I've also heard tale that the Dr. Death, Dr. Pepper dupe is also fucking shitty. This is so bad. If you want to see me make like a lemon face on the Glacial Musical podcast, watch me drink this whole can on that show. But I have, hopefully for one of the last few times ever, a Liquid Death Severed Lime. No longer going to be in this size. No longer going to make this flavor. And this still has the agave nectar, which is a little risky for me and my Beatus. But glad to know that it's, you know, I can do one in a while. Like I do a couple a week. It's not terrible. Cheers to everybody. If you're drinking seltzer or water, or I got coffee here also, is hopped up on coffee. I'm perpetually thirsty and underslept, but I'm thirsty for music knowledge, and so are you. That's why you're here watching the show. Let's do the damn thing. Here's yet another image of me from my goofy shit going on. Hey, I got some people here. Crow is here. Dana G's is here. James Morissette, Hazard, Milky. I see some regulars on the tick of talk. And like I said, I gave the price menu earlier, but just kind of a little description. Here's what our pricing menu covers, just really quick. You can tip us generally $3 for general support. You can buy us a coffee on Ko-fi or otherwise. for $6. You can be a real one. I talked about our real ones. Nobody that works for me or is a close personal friend of mine, IRL in real life, needs to actually do this. But if you wanted to give us 25 bucks, cool. Especially for you on TikTok and YouTube. If you were making music and you wanted me to review your song live, we don't charge for reviews. It goes called Ever. But if you wanted me to just kind of rate your song and have me give you some general impressions, I would do that for 10 bucks. My partner said I should charge much more. And then I do music business consulting. I taught and trained for marketing and the music business strategy for a very long time. I was running seminars on this during the pandemic. I'm going to probably do more of them in the future. And I will do 1 hour or 2 hours of consulting for $75. So I just got a new consulting job, a client, which I'm really happy about. And I'll be doing that over the weekend. We're going to talk about that artist's upcoming release plan and what they have in the works and what they can do. Piercing Metal is here. Again, speaking of real ones in real life, everybody go follow Piercing Metal on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. Pop in and say hello. I know you've been hustling, my brother, hustling. Piercing Metal, Piercing Ken of Piercing Metal is one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. But anyway, that's our tip menu. And again, here's our Cash App, which is my preferable form of payment, but whatever works. And again, we also raise awareness for charity things sometimes. And I'm perfectly fine if you donate to charity and not to us. I don't need it. And of course, I am now the host of Karaoke Sundays, with Retro Vertigo. Dana has attended. I was happy to see you at Monday Karaoke, but this is Karaoke Sundays. I got a few more weeks left with my co-host Erin before she flees the Bay Area, and I will be probably solo hosting or hosting with a guest. Katie is here. Hello. DM33 is here. Hazard 098 is back. Good to see you. Good to see you. And so we've been having a lot of fun. Gabe from Anti-Moz Beast is here. What is up, Gabe? Thanks for checking in on me on Messenger. Good to see you. And then just a reminder, Bay Area people especially, or anybody who feels like they can get to the Bay Area, you have just a few more days to win tickets to see Exodus at the UC Berkeley Theater next Friday. I will be there. Maybe you will be there. And it's Exodus and Death Angel and Blind Illusion all sold out. Blind Illusion will be led by Dave White of Heathen for that show because he was one of their original singers. Exodus is going to play all of Bonded by Blood. It's only going to be their second show back with Rob Dukes, I believe. And they're going to be paying tribute to Paul Bailoff because it would have been his birthday that day. So incredible. Another new album on the way for Anti-Moz Beast. Let me get rid of the ticker. Again, thank you all for checking out our website. Amber is here. Dawn is here. Matt Alexander is here. Nick is here. Rick Kern is here. You can check us out at ghostcultmag.com. I will turn off the banners and pop in the comments because I'm just super stoked to see everybody. It's so nice to see you. Retro Vertigo Dana, Piercing Metal. Back to the Cash App real fast. Oh, sorry. I didn't see that there. Give me 1 second. I will put the Cash App back. And it'll probably be there, whatever. We're friends. You don't have to tip me, but I'm always grateful of anybody who wants to help. And Marie is also here. Logan Mitchell is back. SB is back. So yeah, like I don't expect my real life friends to tip because I see you in real life, and it's all good. I appreciate you. So yeah, some announcements. This is really sad. Les Binks, the former early era drummer of Judas Priest, passed away this week, and Judas Priest put out a statement. Les has played on some Titanic early Priest records while they were still kind of forming their look and their sound. Beast, what is it? What was the live record, Ken? Was it Beast in the East? Was sick. Beast from the East. It's insane live record that was like copied and loved. He was really one of the first great heavy metal drummers. This is pre-Iron Maiden, their whole thing, and Les was incredible. And Priest put out a really nice statement. It was like a message from the band R.E. Les Binks. We're deeply saddened about the passing of Les and send our love to his family. Unleashed in the East. Beast from the East is Dawkins. God damn it. What a mistake that is. I made a pretty bad mistake in one of my interviews this week where I got something wrong. But anyway, the acclaimed drumming he provided was first class, demonstrating his unique techniques, flair, style, and precision. Thank you, Les. Your acclaim will live on. Thank you, Ken, for helping with that answer because, I get confuzzled. There's only so much on the shelf I can keep up here, and it's a struggle. Jeremy Thompson's here. Randall is here. And Wink Martindale passed away, like a game show legend at 91. The many game shows he hosted. I know people love Bob Barker. To me, Wink was just as important, actually. And just so many great memories of watching his shows. So rest in power to Wink. And then just a reminder, we brought you the tragic news last week about the passing of Kevin Castle of Castle Heights. See you, Dana. See you Sunday. Great to see you. You can sing your heart's delight on Sunday. So Kevin Scondato died suddenly. As I mentioned, this guy, Metal Gods Radio is here. Kevin, really put New York City bands on the map, as well as bands from out of town playing New York City. And his funeral services will be on Friday, April 25th. There will be a public memorial for Kevin. His mother wanted the news spread about this. I don't have the exact thing on this deck, but I'll share the news this week that a memorial. I'll share it on the website tonight for the weekend, so people have time to plan. I believe it's going to be in Queens, Ken, if you're watching. And I don't know if you would go to such a thing. These things are sad, and but anyway, it's out there, and I was still waiting to hear what happened. I really, it's something. It really is something, that he passed away. It's just so sad, so sad. Okay. And then again, we're still trying to raise awareness and help for our friend Lisa Mann. Lisa is an acclaimed blues artist and singer. She's an incredible shredding bass player. She sings in Scooter is here. What up? Lisa sings in 2 Pacific Northwest metal bands, Splintered Throne and her own project, White Throne. And, she had a terrible leg injury, and there's a long period of rehab ahead of her. She's back home convalescing, but, it's tough. And if you could check out her socials or check out her Bandcamp, stream some of her music on Spotify, buy something from her, that would be cool. We will relink everything in the description after the show. Hey, Scooter, I am doing well. I'm actually really doing well from a couple of weeks ago. And I hope you're well, too. I don't know if you're at work, but I hope you're doing good. And then also, again, because fun things are fun, we are trying to raise awareness for our favorite metal-loving dog in San Francisco, Django. I finally updated this part of the deck for the first time in a while. Here's Django wearing his battle vest with Necro Butcher and Mayhem. They were both on their way to kill Euronymous. They should have fucking killed Varg, but what are you going to do? Nazi punks fuck off, and Nazi black metalers fuck off. But anyway, we are trying to get Django Sainthood from the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence here in San Francisco because it's fun. And Django's a booster of all kind of underserved and marginalized communities, including the metal community. So we are now up to 351 verified signatures. You don't have to give any money, but we're trying to get awareness for Django. If you want to help, I love this dog, one of my favorite dogs, and help us out. Also, just some news from some stuff I'm involved with. Fine Chamois Records. Angst has a new single out. Just a reminder, the previous version of Angst is the forerunner to my band Angst that's out now. Angst 642 is a single out, Judge and the Jury on Fine Chamois Records. You can screen the QR code. I will hide this for a second in case you want to snap that QR. And then also Whipworm, the black and death metal band, will be coming out with their new album, I believe, in June. I have already heard a lot of it, and it is killer. Killer record. B-Dude Hill is here. What's up, B-Dude Hill? And these are just cool things. And then my band Angst is plugging away. I missed the rehearsal because I was sick a couple of weeks ago. These guys are working on riffs, and I'm going to start putting pen to paper. I already kind of have some ideas sketched out for each song, and we're going to start putting out some music and some covers that I'm really excited about. Angst Music SF on all the socials. Check us out. Give us a follow. That would be fun. We'll put these back up. Thank you, Ken Pierce, for chipping in. And now it's time for some features. I'll put it back to me for a minute. Let's come back to me. Let's do me. Let's see. Hey, it's me. I'm still here. So we did a track-by-track guest post today from the album Stars Are Coming by the artist Ryan Cosmonaut. He's gone by other names before. He's done all kinds of interesting musical projects. And so we did a track-by-track. Super interesting songwriter, crossing over indie rock, alt-rock, punk, pop-punk, some Brit-pop. Just very eclectic, really good lyricist, really good songwriter. Stars Are Coming is out now on The Door to Records. Very vague to end it. The Door to what? The Door to something. and Stars Are Coming is out now. You can check that out. Also, we premiered the whole new album from Vape Warlock. Holy shit, Vape Warlock. This is super sludgy and doomy if you like Electric Wizard and Sleep and Yob. There's very slow, brooding, weed-themed doom metal, which all stoner metal is kind of weed-themed. Is it not? Is it not? It sure is. So let's see. Trying to get some gifters here on TikTok. Feel free to give us a gift there if you want to. Why not? Like, just go ahead and gift us something. Get some hearts going. If you're watching, we appreciate you. All right. Also this week, we ran the new video from the band Tumble. Tumble is releasing their debut album soon. And super cool stoner rock and psychedelic rock band, and maybe a little bit of bluesy stuff in there from the Ontario area. And this was really fun. We did a collab post with them on our socials, and I just really enjoyed it. And I really enjoy this track, and I might even talk to the band. I liked it so much. Work. Okay. Once again, Monday was the anniversary, the 15th anniversary. Seems inconceivable to me. Inconceivable of Peter Steele's death from Typo Negative and Carnivore. So we did a big tribute article about him, and I did some Peter Steele at karaoke. I wore my Typo Negative shirts for a few days. If you see some of my other work, all right, Ken, keep up the solid work. Keith, you gotta hop on all fronts. Peace, brother. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by. It's always much love. I will stop by, and I love checking out your stuff, and everybody else should too. So we did a big feature on Pete, and it still seems like not real that he's gone. And I tell people all the time, the fun part is growing up in New York City. I could have seen Typo Negative like 100 times, and I only saw them like 10, 11 times. Really fucked up my life. But what are you going to do? Byrondi is passing by. What up, sir? Good to see you. Also this week, some big interviews. Wednesday 13, one of our biggest interviews ever, top 10 or top 15 still, is a previous interview with Wednesday. We talked to him all about his brand new album, Mid-Death Crisis, that's coming out on Napalm Records next week. So Wednesday, a super cool catch up with him. And he's on tour now. Actually, I think the record's out already, and he's on tour now. Super cool. We've got some coverage of that tour coming in a few, like I think tomorrow. The show is tomorrow. We also interviewed once again Josh Graham, formerly of A Storm of Light and Neurosis and Made Out of Babies. His band Guiltless. I interviewed him last year for their EP Thorns. Now they have the full length out, and he was interviewed by our own Tom Osmond, our managing editor of Reviews, who's also a fantastic editor and interviewer and writer. And he interviewed Josh, and they went way deeper than I did. He went into some directions I don't think I would have covered myself. So it's super cool interview, and this is a very important kind of a post-metal doom band of supergroup. I know he didn't like the word supergroup when I brought it up the last time. Sasha Dunable of Intronaut is on bass. He's got guys from A Generation of Vipers and other members of his from other bands he's been in, A Storm of Light. So you definitely want to check out this music and this feature interview on all our stuff, on our website, on our podcast, on YouTube. And finally, this is an absolute honor. I interviewed John Reese and Craig Duswalt. If you don't know who those names are, most of the last 25 to 30 years of touring with some of the biggest bands in the world and hugest festivals in the world are involved these two guys. They both worked for Guns N' Roses in the 80s and 90s. John then famously teamed up with Kevin Lyman on Warped Tour and later Mayhem Festival. Craig has continued to be a leader in the music industry. The both of them are still have a podcast together called That Damn Podcast, and they are doing a seminar you have heard me praise and talk about in the last bunch of weeks, breaking into the music industry seminar in Indio, California in just a few weeks left. If you want to break into the music industry with a job, if you want to help your band get better, learn the tools you need to improve without just throwing money at something, without being strategic about it, you want to attend this with some of the best names and mentors in the business, and you're going to have meals with them and networking events and socializers and all kinds of socials and all kinds of things. And we broke it down. They gave away free advice for people trying to get jobs in the music business for what bands should be doing. They talked about a young band they're working with. They reminisced about Casey Chaos of Amen, who passed away recently, and their close connection to him, especially John. Really fun interview. I'm very proud of. And it was really an honor. These guys are standing in front of Platinum Records for Guns N' Roses, by the way. Holy shit. So really amazing. Would love to meet them someday, or maybe go to this conference next year. So there it is. There's the title. You can sign up at the link in our description after the show is over. I'll fill out everything I didn't do this week because of laziness. Also, just a reminder, last week we ran a feature from our own Morgan Y. Evans. Morgan does Q&A interviews on our website. He used to write a lot of reviews. He's got his own website called Metal Riot. And this is him with a Nazi Trucks Fuck Off sticker that I love in front of a Cybertruck, because fuck that. And they wrote a entire feature piece on protest music, 7 essential protest songs and a few others by their own. So I'm really grateful for this. It's really essential music. Gave a real deep dive into the history of protest music, and especially punk and metal, and why it's always been protest music. Agency is here. Armagado 6 des La Vida is here. 666. I like that name. If you've got an interesting name, I might call it out. Somebody's watching on Twitch. Thanks for being here. Feel free to follow us. We'll follow you back. Jim is here. Slayer's Wine. What up? What up? What up? What up? Great to see you. Congratulations on a huge milestone in your life this week. I'm really proud of you. I'm really thrilled. And let's keep it going with all positivity and wonderfulness. And I hope to see you next month when you come to town, if that's still happening. Reminder, we have a podcast. This show will be a podcast. All our interviews are podcasts. We have some exclusive content on our podcast that you should check out wherever you listen to podcasts. The Ghost Cult Magazine podcast, Guitars and Barbecue. I'm interested. Shelly is also here with a Canadian flag. Very cool, very cool. So yeah, check out our podcast, and usually these go up at the end of the weekend. Also, because I don't have enough to do, I'm the co-host of the Glacially Musical Podcast. Jesse Cook is back. Hi, Jesse. Good to see you. We mercifully ended our 90s series on Metallica albums with attain. Good God, this thing is not that great. I really always felt like that. Some of it is better than I remember, and a lot of it is not. But hear about how me, Nick, and our guest third host, Don Dillamonte, Talking the Talk with Don, we talked all about this record. Really went deep on 90s Metallica. And then we ranked all the 90s Metallica albums, which is super interesting if you think about it. Boy, it runs like a whole bell curve, man. Highs and lows, highs and lows. But anyway, go check it out. Check us out. You know, this our YouTube for Ghost Cult has almost 5,800 subscribers, which I'm grateful for. Glacially Musical Podcast, only 100. So help us out. Give us subscribe. What's up, Zeke? What's up, Hambone? Like Crambone. Please give us a sub or like us on our socials for the Glacially Musical Podcast. Is that the new Lollapalooza book? It is. I'm going to talk about it later in the show, but that it is. You have good eyes, man. Let me tell you, you have better eyes than me. All right, that was all the announcements and the features and things, and now it's time for the news rundown. And you know what time it is. Do you know what time it is when we do the news rundown? I always found it interesting that people point to their wrist. Like when people have phones now, people still point to their wrist. Do you point to your crotch when you have to go to the bathroom and you can't find one? Just curious. But anyway, when we do the news rundown, we start with rock and metal festivals, and we have a few to talk about this week, including a few going on this weekend, and then we do all the concerts. So now it's time for festivals. How it feels entering a festival, how it feels leaving. A little eye itchy, I don't know why. So Roadburn Festival kicked off today in Tilburg, the Netherlands. It's probably into the wee hours of the after party right now. I happened to be up at the crack of dawn and was connecting with our team that is covering this, Dante Torrieri of Useless Rebel Imaging, and of course, my dear friend Suzanne A. Matthews, who's also covering. She's literally the reason we cover Roadburn. Ghost Cult was formed, in a sense, to cover Roadburn, avant-garde music, and stoner doom, and weirdo music, outsider music. And then we grew into this thing where we do punk and thrash metal and death metal and black metal and everything. Julia Chase is here. What up, Julia? I'll be connecting with you later on after the show. And thanks for being here. Appreciate all your help. You're awesome. This is our weekly rock and metal news show, and we are doing the music festival. So Roadburn kicked off, and let's just quickly, I will blow this up so you can better appreciate you can't quite read the fine print on this poster, but Roadburn is really one of the best experiences I ever had as a concert goer. I went over to Amsterdam and down to Tilburg, which is about an hour and 45 minutes away from Amsterdam, and I just had the best time of my life. It feels like like a family. It's a tiny event. It really isn't like thousands of people. It's a few thousand people instead of 50,000 people. And you get to know everybody. And it feels intimate. And you see bands watching their friends. And you see everybody just being cool. And it's such a great time. I can't wait to go back. I haven't really been. It's been a while. So I need to get back. And we have a lot of friends and peers in Europe that love us. And I never felt so respected and liked in the music industry as when I went to this thing. So maybe that's part of it. Let's quickly talk about the lineup. I'm going to hide the comments for a second here on YouTube and all the tubes. Headliners include Oranzi Pazuzu doing a full performance of their brand new album, Django. I hope I said that correctly because they are I think Icelandic or Finnish. Kailisa, their first show back. They also play this weekend at another festival I'll talk about in a second. Faetud, The Body and Tisvig, Envy, The Bug, Black Curse. So many cool bands on today that already played. Let's see the lineup for tomorrow. I mean, this is an absolute murderer's row. Midwife on a commissioned piece. Mesa, whose brand new album I just picked up. Envy again. The Body by themselves. Cave-In performing all of Jupiter, which had a 25th anniversary re-release this week, and I'm a huge Cave-In freak, as you know. Thou, who is like the house band of Roadburn at this point, and you know that we just recently interviewed them and how much we love Thou. A bunch of other bands, including Colin van Eekhout of Amen-Ra by himself as a solo artist, Disfig by themselves, Harvest Man, which is Steve Von Till's project, formerly of Neurosis, 40 Watt Sun, Robots and Monsters is here, what up, what up. Finally, for Saturday, day 3, Sumac, Oxen, Steve Von Till with a collaborative project, Chat Pile, our biggest interview of last year, Midwife, Uniform, Coil Guns, so many cool bands that really make Ghost Cult coverage what it is, and many more. And I always love going to a festival and discovering new bands that I wasn't familiar with first. And then finally on Sunday, Sumac again, Bo Ninjan, Midwife again, Big Brave again, Toby Driver, Insect Art, Michael Gira, and Christoph Hahn of Swans doing a special set. So just really phenomenal. Roadburn, we love you. Stay tuned for Roadburn coverage at Ghost Cult, maybe some socials, but definitely the review in a week or two. Then finally, also this weekend, also underway today, Inferno. Now, Inferno, we talked about them last week. They're a metal festival and music industry conference. A lot of networking goes on there. Our friend Slow Dragon, Paul McMillan, Big Paul Slow Dragon on socials, he's there right now networking for his booking business that he does in the UK. And then there's the festival, Abat, 1349, Satyricon, Behemoth, Batushka, Septic Flesh, Kailisa, Tiamat, Rodenchrist, Orenwart, Suitor, Naglfar, Necrophobic, Blood Incantation. I mean, this is just Samash, absolutely insane levels of black and death metal at this festival. Plus, cultural excursions around Oslo, visiting all the churches that were burned in the reign of terror by the first and second wave black metal bands. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Nessa Blood reopened in time for this, so you could go visit Nessa Blood, where the original Black Circle was, which was the record store originally of Euronymous from Mayhem. All right. Also announced this week, not happening until September, Metal and Hardcore Fest, New England Metal and Hardcore Fest. There, as my dear friends say, hey kid, fucking Metal and Hardcore Fest. If you're from Boston, like I used to live in Boston, but I'm not there. Something stupid with Dom that says, what Exodus City singer do I like more, Zetro or Dukes? You like Zetro. So here's where I land. First of all, I love Paul the most because Paul was my original kind of entry into the band back in the day when I got into thrash metal as a teenager. I think Zetro is probably the better singer of the two between him and Dukes. I think the music they did during the full Dukes time in the band was much more brutal and suited him better. But I love Zetro as a singer. Actually, you know that he was the singer originally of the band Legacy, and then he left Legacy to join Exodus, and Legacy became Testament when they got Chuck Billy. Who is Paul more than Dukes and Zetro? Well, Paul Bailoff is the original singer of Exodus. He wasn't really a great singer, but he was an incredible personality and lyricist. So a lot of the vibe and the attitude that Exodus has comes from Paul. Go look up here. I highly recommend the documentary Get Thrashed by Rick Ernst. Rick used to work on Headbangers Ball on MTV, and he did this loving tribute to New York thrash and West Coast thrash, and there's just so much great stuff. There's also Murder in the Front Row documentary about the Murder in the Front Row book, but also Adam Dubin, who worked with Metallica. Was he on Fabulous Disaster? That's Zetro. So Paul's on the first 2 records of Exodus, and then he kind of shit the bed and left the band. Also, Exodus had recorded Bonded by Blood, their debut. So he's on Bonded by Blood. It's the one you need anyway. It's the best record they had. But like Fabulous Disaster is decent. So Paul Bailoff is on the first Exodus record. You need Bonded by Blood. It is an essential top 10 ever thrash metal record, maybe top 5. Exodus invented thrash. Like, there's no doubt they were before everybody else. Metallica heard them and they improved their style. Slayer heard them and they stopped being what they were. Anthrax heard them and Metallica was like, oh, we got to do this West Coast thing, a little with our East Coast style of punk. So yeah, man, I love Tempo of the Damned, dude. And you know, that's Zetro and Blacklist is one of my favorite fucking songs. And Zetro quit the band before they were going to go on tour. That's a recurring theme this week, by the way. So anyway, just tough stuff. I love all 3 singers equally. They're all a little different and better at different things. You can also check out the Testament live album, First Strike Still Deadly. And I think Zetro sings with Testament on a song he originally co-wrote with them. So, and you know, Zetro still helps out Testament co-writing lyrics with them, which is kind of fun. Alrighty. Also, the Doomed and Stoned Festival of Asheville, North Carolina is coming up, and this looks insane. Restless Spirit, Year of the Cobra, Ghost Cult favorite. Lopan, Bronco, Sumnori, who I love. Guts, who we absolutely love and interviewed recently. I also interviewed Sumnori and Year of the Cobra in the past. I need to catch up with them again soon about their recent album. Temptations Wings, good name check there, and a whole bunch more. So check out this festival if you are in the Carolinas. Do I know Amorphous? Patrick is here. Yes, I love Amorphous. I've interviewed them, and I love Tales of a Thousand Lakes, and I love their most recent stuff. That's kind of more progressive metal. I love it a lot. I love that band. Great band. I hadn't seen them in quite a while. I was supposed to see them last year in Berkeley. I live in San Francisco now. Julia just got off the train coming back from New York City, got to bounce. It's festival season. It is indeed. Great to see you. I may write up a festival preview for the spring tonight. We'll see. See how froggy I'm feeling. I got a lot to do. Once again, reminder, Riot Fest announcement is coming on Wednesday. We will have the first, you will see it first at Ghost Cult. We are connected to Riot Fest through our partners at the Lambgoat Media Network, so all our websites will probably have the news first. I'm super stoked. Their 20th anniversary. Who could be going? I probably won't go. We have our crack team to cover Riot. We've covered most of the last 10 of 20 Riot Fests since Ghost Cult's been around for 12 or 13 years. And our team last year was just absolutely stellar. Randall Hicks on the photos and Justice Peterson on the interviews and review. And both of them actually contributed to the review. So you absolutely need to stay tuned. We will bring you everything. Your favorite. Of course, Typo Negative. We were just talking about them, Patrick. Call the Moon, of course. Peter Steele died 15 years ago. We ran a whole feature on it on our website. If you check, it's pinned to ghostcultmag.com right now at the top if you want to check it out. There's a band called Duskwater, Canadian metal band. They had your favorite album, 24. I know that band too. Very good stuff. Very good. Patrick, thanks. Something Stupid. And Patrick, thank you so much for chiming in. Mateo is also here. More festivals and tours. Here's Health, getting on their Rat Wars tour with Author and Punisher soon. Kicking off in May. I hope to cover this. Not really going anywhere where we're going, but what are you going to do? Download is just 2 months away. Green Day, Sleep Token, and Korn. Oh my gosh, Sleep Token fans, you're going overdriven. I know I said that last week too. Weezer, Shinedown, Bullet for My Valentine, Jimmy Eat World, Don Bronco, Spirit Box, Sex Pistols with Frank Turner, Within Temptation, The Darkness with a brand new album, Steel Panther, Rise Against, Opeth, Meshuggah, Palladium Royale, and many, many more. Looks like Cradle of Filth, Seek. Cool shit. Dimmu Borgir, great band, great band. My personal favorite black metal band of all time is Emperor. That is who I love the most, and I also am a big fan of Ulver's first few records, but I love Ulver almost more than anything else because they're not black metal anymore. I love their Depeche Mode stuff. That sounds like Depeche Mode. I love their psychedelic rock stuff. They went through a Pink Floyd phase. Emperor absolutely Ihsahn has influenced everybody because nobody else except for maybe Tom G. Warrior, and a few other people like Satyricon, that band. Maybe nobody really has the symphonic and orchestral reach as a composer like Ihsahn does. So you can check out our interview with Ihsahn here on YouTube when you're done watching this show. All right, that's all the festivals and a little bit of the tours. Here's the rest of the tour dates. This is what you got to see. Metallica is about to kick off their first M72 shows of 2025 in Syracuse this weekend. Holy shit, the machine is back. You are going to get nonstop Metallica videos and news. They're going to do all kinds of pop-up events and do stuff. You love them or hate them. And like I said, my other podcast just covered S&M, which is not good. But love them or hate them, as Metallica goes, the rest of metal, underground and otherwise, goes along with them. It helps everybody. So here's the dates. Again, Kirk Hammett is also doing a book tour alongside of this, starting next week in Toronto, promoting his new book with Gibson Publishing, The Collection, Kirk Hammett, or Kirk Hammett, The Collection, in an intimate conversation with Mark Agnest of Gibson. So no repeat weekend. There's one night only shows. In Syracuse is the first one technically. And then they go to Toronto for the two. And so on the 2-night shows, the 1-night show only, Syracuse, Virginia, Landover, Maryland, Charlotte, Atlanta, Houston, only Pantera Suicidal at those shows. On the 2 nights only, Pantera and Suicidal play on Sunday, and Limp Bizkit and Ice Nine Kills play on Friday. I kind of want to see Limp Bizkit. I haven't seen him in a long time, in about 6-7 years. I kind of want to see him. Ice Nine Kills, I'm good. I've seen him a bunch. I'm all set. I know people love them. They're okay. Slayer tickets have quickly sold out for their one-off headline show in America in Hershey Park, Pennsylvania. Knock Loose, Suicidal Tendencies, Power Trip, Cavalera playing all of Chaos AD, Exodus playing all of Bonded by Blood. Holy shit. The tickets were snapped up immediately. I'm sure the resale tickets are a lot. That is September 24th, which is also the height of festival season in America and Canada. But go check it out. If you haven't seen Slayer and you have missed Slayer somehow or never saw Slayer, go to these shows. Knock Loose, obviously one of the so big that Knock Loose is headlining over Suicidal and Power Trip and Cavalera and Exodus. Seems a little crazy, but they are that big now. And Suicidal will have a new album. I think they're dropping a new song tomorrow, and they will announce one. And I believe Power Trip is currently negotiating with record labels to have a new record label deal to put out a new record. They're first without Riley Gale, former friend of Ghost Cult. Okay. Lords of Acid is coming soon. Just a reminder, I just saw a poster outside my house for this. Praise the Lords. Lords of Acid with special guests Little Miss Nasty and Alley Cat. And then on other dates, Lucia Cifarelli. You know her from KDM, KMFDM, blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Tongue-tied and tired. I don't know. How are we doing on time? 40 minutes. Let's go. Whores is kicking off a big tour with Help on some dates. Whores World War. I am trying to get a new interview with that band before they kick off their dates next week. We'll see. Or a week and a half. Try to kick it off. They're going to Europe. So I might try to talk to them. I love that band. And Christian Lembach is the leader of Whores. And he's a great dude. Machine Head, I just saw this show at the beginning of the tour a week and a half ago. We just ran our review today. Shout out to my boy Pags for the great photos. Here's Rob Flynn. Sick photos, sick review. I wrote the review, so I know it's sick. It was a great show. You saw the Pantera 5th show back in 2023. Fantastic. Something stupid with Don. I saw Pantera 3 times in 2023. New Jersey, headline show in the Poconos, or not the Poconos, but maybe the Scranton area, and then again in St. Louis, where I saw a whole weekend of Metallica shows. I thought they were great. I'm really happy they're doing their thing. I don't necessarily want new music from this version of Pantera. It's not really Pantera without Daryl and Vince. Everybody knows that, including the people that have been. Dillinger Compound is here. What is up? I've returned. I love it. Dillinger Compound is back. I will pop these in. Hey, bud. How you doing? How you doing? How's your almost weekend going? Just talking about Pantera, talking about this Machine Head review at Ghost Cult. You can check it out right now. A great, great show, top to bottom. Unearth, Lacuna Coil playing as heavy as they can. In Flames playing a decidedly old school set along with their newer material. And Machine Head crushing it for about an hour and 20 minutes an hour. I was very impressed by the show. New Machine Head album next week. I'm super stoked. I got to dig into it and listen. All in Witches have announced a European tour with Elder. Big news coming up with all these bands. If you're in the UK or Europe next fall, do go see these bands. All in Witches, great psychedelic rock band. Elder, one of the pinnacle psychedelic stoner doom bands, even though they've kind of grown beyond that. Also, Decapitated European tours kicking off soon with Cryptopsy, Warbringer, and another band I can't. Please have legible logos. Less Pantera, more Down. I'm with you. I just saw Down, and other than the mix being not great, I thought it was a great show. Something stupid with Dom says, they made a different band. It would be awesome because Charlie and Zach are great. Charlie and Zach are great, and especially Charlie. I know Zach can play everything Daryl can play and is choosing not to. That's okay with me. Charlie is like dialed in, man. And I really want Anthrax to come back and do some headline stuff with their eventual new album to come out, hopefully later this year. But yeah, man, they really picked the right people. I had originally thought I really wanted a cadre of guitar players. Let's get Phil Demmel and let's get a whole bunch of other people, Vogue from Decapitated, and let's get a gang of people to do Daryl justice. But Zach can handle it. Zach can handle it. I know people are, he's not doing it, well, it's weird for him. It's his best friend. It's ghoulish to him. He's getting a paycheck. He's making more money than he ever made his whole life opening even for Ozzy. He's making more money opening for Metallica with Pantera, just the name Pantera. So, good for him. I don't care if he's not exactly doing note for note stuff of the Pantera stuff. He can if he wants to. He doesn't choose to. Avenged Sevenfold has also booked a European tour with Palais Royale and Ignite. Wow, what a big job. Ignite, punk band, hardcore punk band, very political, getting to go on tour with Palais and Avenged Sevenfold. Huge tour for those guys. And, Avenged Sevenfold continuing to tour behind their 2023 album, Life is But a Dream, which I liked a lot, but it was very unsettling to their fan base. Just a reminder, Acacia Strain has a tour coming up soon, and they have replaced, I believe, one of the openers with, I can't remember. Oh, crap. Your Spirit Dies is now replacing Snuffed on Sight, if you're looking at this poster. Both good bands. I'm not sure why Snuffed on Sight dropped out. A lot of hardcore and death metal bands having drama. Jakey Lee over Zach. Well, I'm not going to put Jakey Lee in a Pantera. I'm not saying he can't do it, but he just wouldn't be the right guy. I would like Jakey Lee to get to play with that Ozzy show. I appreciate, whatever. But Violet is here. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Auntie Mosbeast is back on the gram. Thanks for being here. Appreciate your presence. Avenged 7 is cool, but their mascot looks... Yeah, they absolutely stole it from Overkill. There's absolutely... Get your... Overkill, I have a shirt somewhere in storage. It's Overkill, and on the back it's the Chally, which is the bat of Overkill, the death bat. And so, Avenged Sevenfold, the message to Avenged Sevenfold from Overkill is get your own logo, which is really hilariously funny. Blitz is one of my favorite guys. Didn't Jakey get Bang Bang last year? Maybe. Yeah, he got shot. Yeah, that's right. He's okay now. Bang Bang. I know, I shouldn't say stuff like that on YouTube. You're going to get me. Reminder, Mastodon, Also Perish, and Dead Heat are playing in St. Louis in a few weeks. Looks pretty cool. Wish I could go. Lamb of God's got a couple of one-off headline shows in addition to the Headbangers both this year. This particular one is in Richmond, Virginia with Hatebreed. Very cool, but they are all over the place with these shows. Paradise Lost is a brief American tour coming up from Milwaukee Metal Fest and Maryland Death Fest with a few shows in between. We will try to catch that. And the Devil Embrace, Gigan and Trouble are opening, which is crazy. Another week, another acid bath show announced. Dom is going on Headbangers Boat. That's awesome, brother. I would love to go. I have a lot going on in October. So I don't know, but I'd love to go on one of these metal cruises. Acid Bath just announced another show. It's like they announce a show and announce a show and announce a show, and then you kind of look at it all together, and it's a whole tour. So I'm proud of them. This Seattle one still looks the best. Oh, my goodness. High on Fire, Yob, Witch Mountain. Jesus, with Acid Bath. Get Bob Daisley on that Sabbath show. Dude, Sharon hates Bob Daisley, and Bob Daisley hates Sharon. She fucked him out of money. He has said very unfair, probably fair, and some unfair things about Ozzy and Sharon. I have heard some rumors, I'm going to tell you all honestly, because I tell you the truth. Everybody else is doing shit for clickbait. Everybody else lies. I don't announce this shit. But when I'm not a rumor spreader, but when I hear something that comes from a credible source, I get very concerned. So here's two rumors that I'm gonna float to you all, and you can comment on them. Weekend at Ozzy's, I know, very funny. I agree. It's not wrong. So the first thing is about this Ozzy show. Let's just talk about it since Dillinger Compound brought it up. Ozzy's doing really bad and probably shouldn't be doing this show. He's not doing well physically. I think this is going to be very sad to see. He's barely going to sing at this thing. He's going to come and make it. They're going to wheel him out in a throne. He's going to wheel out, roll out. Autobots, roll out. Ozzy, roll out. And he's going to roll out like the Hall of Fame. And he barely is going to be able to sing. So it's going to be everybody else doing, every band's going to play like 3-4 songs and then do a Sabbath song. And then at the end, they're going to do Ozzy and Sabbath songs. But this really breaks my heart. And I don't think he's very well. I'm very convinced that Acid Bath is the same agent as Dillinger. That is correct. I think that's correct. And then here's another rumor. Just going to float it out there. When Riot Fest, which we just talked about a minute ago, gets announced for next week, don't be surprised if there's a special Rage Against the Machine themed set announced, because they're teasing stuff. It's the 30th anniversary of Evil Empire. A lot of stuff is being teased. Now, do I think Rage Against the Machine is going to unretire and come back? That answer is no. But I think Tom Morello will put together a supergroup band with his son and maybe some former members of, maybe Brad Wilk and some different rappers and singers, and they're going to do, maybe Be Real and Chuck D, they're going to do Riot Fest. I bet. That's my prediction. Just a prediction, just a thought. Moving along. We were talking about this offline earlier. Surgical Strangulation Tour 2025 is kicked off. Cartilage and Unidad Trauma both have new bands. Both California-ish, West Coast death metal bands. Cartilage here from the Bay Area. I met those guys recently at Meshuggah, and they were super nice, and I will try to get an interview with them soon. Unidad Trauma we have covered quite a lot, especially opening for Breweria in the last couple of years, but they are from Tijuana. They fucking rule. Their new EP is out today or yesterday. Go get it out. We have a review on our site of that as well. You just scroll back a day's worth of posts, 6, 7 posts, 8, 9, 10 posts, 15 posts. It's there. Summer of Loud is coming up soon. Beartooth, I Prevail, Killswitch Engage, Parkway Drive, The Amity Affliction, Devil Wears Prada, Alpha Wolf, and other bands. Stark Divine is on there too on different dates. Very cool. Very interesting to see Beartooth and I Prevail over Parkway Drive and Killswitch. Killswitch, I swear, would have been bigger by now. Ozzy says he wants to die on stage. No, he doesn't, bro. I know he says that, and it makes me sad. Yep, I saw Breweria so many times with the 2 late singers, and apparently they're going to continue, so I wish them the best. I will continue to support those guys. Very tough to lose not just 1, but 2 singers in like 6 weeks. Category 7, which canceled their first headlining tour not too long ago because of low sales, has announced their very first headline show in LA, as well as a tour of South America. I know it's been hard for them to I think that they should really open up for a bigger band. This is a supergroup metal band led by my dude and recent interviewee, John Bush of Armored Saint. Armored Saint's got a bunch of touring with Wasp coming up. Phil Demmel, formerly of Machine Head, and with Kerry King's band on lead guitar. Mike Orlando of Adrenaline Mob, also on lead and rhythm guitar. Jason Bittner on the drums from Shadows Fall, formerly of Overkill. And, of course, Jack Gibson of Exodus on bass. A sick band. And great that they're at least getting out to tour South America in July. And I'm looking forward to this just announced LA show. Exhorder's brief U.S. tour kicks off after next weekend. Very cool. Big fan of Exhorder. This is amazing. So Hellfire's got a show coming up in my town around the corner from my house at DNA Lounge. Oh, March of the Saint. I had the tape. I broke the tape. Bush is my favorite singer. Maybe one of my favorite metal singers of all time, surely in the top 3 or 4. I love the guy. It's very hard for me to not fanboy out whenever I talk to him. But he's been really kind to Ghost Cult. So there's a brand new metal supergroup as well called Nefarious, and their debut and record release show is Saturday, July 19th here around the corner from my house at DNA Lounge. And it features Caton DePena from Hyrax, Rick Hunolt, formerly of Exodus, Doug Percy, Tom Gears, and Will Carroll of Death Angel. So a who's who of old school West Coast thrash metal. And of course, Rick, we've interviewed Rick not too long ago, and he has the band Die Humane. So check that out. I love Anthrax with John, but I also love Anthrax with Joey. And I'm still hoping that John can someday go out and do like an Anthrax tour. I was very sad that Anthrax doesn't really play the Sound of White Noise or other stuff that much. And I would like John to at least go out and honor that great music. All right, we're almost done with here. Bokassa, Metallica's favorite stoner metal band, has got a tour of Europe coming up with Clutch. They got new music on the way, and this is coming up later in the year. But Bokassa, killer band. You should check them out if you like. Again, Clutch, Red Fang, Baroness, very similar bands, except those guys are European. Very cool shit. Oops, sorry. Once again, Anjasta for All Just and Friends coming up next week, a week from today, in Dingbats in Clifton, New York. Special guest Bobby Blitz on vocals. Very cool. That's my dude there. Nick Petrino, lead guitar, formerly of a whole bunch of bands, but the D. Snyder band there, solo band. But he plays with Josh also, so pretty cool. Trivium and Bullet from My Valentine with August Burns Red, Cytosis, and Bleed From Within continue their Poison Descendancy anniversary tour. I really would like to get out and cover this somewhere, not sure where. Also, Lebanon Hanover is doing a brief tour in both 2025 and 2026. 2025 dates are coming up in October. New York, Washington, Raleigh, Atlanta, Tampa, Houston, San Antonio, and somewhere else, maybe Dallas. And then in about a year from now, they'll be here. Hollywood, Regency Ballroom in San Francisco, exactly a year from now. Crocodile in Seattle, Portland, Salt Lake City, Denver, Las Vegas. I fucking love Stomp 442. I thought it was a great fucking record. It's really underrated. Thoughts on the new Gore song? We have some Gore news coming up about that song. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I love Gore. I'm a big Gore person. You know, some of their stuff doesn't hold up as well live these days, but like, you know, I respect them. You know, we have the last 2 interviews with Brocky, Odorous Orungus, of course, including one as Brocky, not Odorous, which is very rare. The last interview he ever did, actually, before he died, we just recently mourned the loss of him 3 weeks ago. Was the anniversary of his passing, which is still crazy to me. Just crazy. Chuck Reagan is coming up on tour of Hot Water Music in UK and Ireland, and as you know, we interviewed Nate Bergman, who's going to open for You Have Been Cheated. I've seen them 3 times. That sucks. I don't know where you're located. Get to a show. Or see them at a festival. Go in a white shirt and get the liquid on you. Get the jizz and the cum and the pee on you. You need it. I'm pretty sure that every time I either look at a pair of boobs or I listen to Gore, my lifespan goes up and up. Just a theory. It's not based on empirical evidence. I am sorry. Army of Bears is here. Thank you for everybody watching and hanging out with us and tuning in. I greatly appreciate you. Just a reminder, this heavy metal music in the Bronx exhibition, Uptown Rumble, is taking place at the Museum of Bronx History in my old neighborhood in the North Bronx, 3266 Bainbridge Avenue. I partly grew up in that part of the Bronx where my grandmother and uncle lived. And it's kicking off April 24th, a week from today, curated by Stephen Payne, who works for the Bronx History Museum, Chucky Brown, and my homie Gio Estrella, who are lifers in the New York music scene. Squid Pisser is in Gore. I know Tommy's in Gore. That is correct. And Squid Pisser rules. And I don't know if he could do Squid Pisser and Gore at the same time on the same shows. But yeah, Squid Pisser rules. Such a big fan. I mean, it was so strange at that one show, man. It was so strange. It was like, this is fucking bizarre. How bizarre? But yeah, man, it's possible that some of my own music or flyers of my band will show up at this Uptown Rumble Heavy Music in the Bronx exhibition. So I am kind of excited. Once a reminder, we're at the more than halfway point. We're at the 3/4 point of the show. Move some things around. Once again, if you want to tip us, feel free to tip us. I'm always thankful for anybody throwing us any money. It all goes back into the company. Any money we make, we just kind of put back in the company. We do have some advertising. We do sell some ads. We do get some. I do get some stuff for doing this, but we're not corporate and we don't have that kind of backing. But just one more time, here's where you can give us a donation if you like it. And if you don't, it's okay. And Facebook's not being a dingleberry today, so it actually worked. Anxious Shiboy is here. And just a reminder, our 2 affiliate partners for this show and every show, Lambgoat Media Network. Lambgoat's the meaner version of Ghost Cult. The comment section, tread at your own risk. But Lambgoat, awesome. And they do great stuff. All the advertising you see on ghostcultmag.com is through them. When we give away tickets or things, it's through them. We're going to be doing some more giveaways soon with them. Again, our Exodus giveaway is ending Sunday. Get to our Instagram and regram the pin post, and I will know you have entered, and then you will have a chance to see them. And also, if you're watching this anywhere but TikTok, you are watching us through the grace of StreamYard. For all your streaming needs, all the cool bells and whistles of the show, the appeal, pull in the comments, post everywhere at once, comment back, all these things, see who's watching. This is all through StreamYard. If you sign up with our link in the description, you get $10 off your subscription, and we get $10 off our next bill. It is Dutch door action. Too many dicks on the dance floor, but I like it. We're also on Twitch. Thank you for whoever's watching on Twitch. Feel free to follow us. We will follow you back. We're on Threads. And we're on Discord. We're on Reddit. But how do you guys like Blue Sky? We've been posting a little bit more on Blue Sky. And what I'm finding out is a lot of bands are there, but not as many as Threads, which got folded in directly from Instagram. But I do like Blue Sky, and it just seems like the early days of Twitter there. How about you? You tell me. What else? Okay. Time for the rest of the news, and you can feel free to comment, ask questions, drop us a tip. All the things are open. All the news. Till I find a better meme than this meme stays. The story of the week from last week continues this week. Weezer's wife was shot. Jesus Christ, Scott Shiner's wife was shot in a face-off with the cops. She was arrested for attempted murder. I know she was kind of standing her ground against some other people the cops were chasing. She shot at the cops. They shot her and arrested her. And then Scott went out and played with Weezer at Coachella. Oh, why? Why are these things happening? Make better life choices. That's my advice to you, wife of Scott Shiner. Also, at Coachella, not normally known for rock and metal bands, but okay. Megan Thee Stallion, flanked here by some Sasquatches or some shit, or Bigfoots, got joined by Courtney LaPlante of Spirit Box for the Cobra remix that they made famous about a year ago. And it was Spirit Box just blowing up everywhere. She literally flew from a show, put on a cool outfit, came on stage, flew back to the tour, didn't miss a beat. Good job, Courtney. Good job, Megan Thee Stallion. She was like, here comes motherfucking Courtney from Spirit Box, yo. When you see metal in other places, it's pretty fucking cool, I think. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Record Store Day. Record Store Day was this weekend, and, it was the first time ever that I thought maybe, I have a huge, as you know, we've done Record Store Day previews. We did Record Store Day rundown on the Glacial Musical podcast, where we analyzed the whole list and what you should get and what it this was the first year I looked at the lineup and the lineup of releases, and I was like, this isn't that great. This is not that great. It may be losing its potency. I want people to go into record stores. They clearly spend more money when they're driven to go in. But I'm just wondering if normally the April Record Store Day is a much better pull of records than the Black Friday. But I think this year, I'm hoping that Black Friday is better than what we got this week. I did get the Mark Morton record. And thank you for whoever just thumbs this up. The old snake in the grass on Facebook. Thank you. See, I can do that with StreamYard. I can see who's doing what. And, I don't know if anybody is texting. So, yeah, we'll just stay there. We'll keep it live and direct. So, I don't know, Record Store Day, this is the first time I thought, like, maybe it's not great. If you still support Record Store Day. Let me know, and let me know what you got, if you got anything. But I did get the Mark Morton record, and you know, I don't know how I feel about it. But anyway, worried about them a little. All right, the bombshell news that happened today about Faith No More. Puffy Borden, also formerly of Ozzy and formerly of Korn for quite a while. Puffy Borden did the Dean Del Rey podcast, Let There Be Talk. Dean Del Rey is a comedian and a lifer metal fan from the Bay Area. I met him. He's really nice. He was the MC for the Metallica 40 concerts at the Chase Center. And he had Puffy on, and he really was very reluctant to talk about the band, about Faith No More. He was talking specifically about Angel Dust, which is what Dean wanted to ask him about. It is the 30th anniversary of King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime, which I believe is getting a deluxe reissue via Ipecac. It just hasn't been announced yet. And finally, toward the end of the interview, man, he talked about Faith No More. And he said a few times, like, I'm not trying to be sensational, and I'm not trying to fucking be overboard, and I'm not trying to do this, this, and that, but I gotta be real. As far as he's concerned, he can only speak for the three guys that are in touch with each other right now, which is himself, Billy Gould, and Roddy Bottum. And they're all kind of off doing their own things. Puffy Borden has been playing on the new One at a Time singles from Joe Holmes, formerly of Ozzy's band in the 90s. Never got to make a record with Ozzy, which is why he's not as well known. But he's incredible. He's an incredible guitarist. Him and Robert Trujillo have made like a little power trio, and they're making thrash songs. But it's only one at a time till there's a whole record out. And Puffy basically talked about what happened, what happened when the Faith No More canceled all those shows in 2021 when it was all coming back. And like, look, we wanted to take care of our guy. He was in no shape to go on tour. We canceled 75 shows on 3 days' notice. He didn't come to the one rehearsal we were supposed to go to. The gear was on a truck on the way to the venue. The gear was at the first show venue, parked. And Patton pulled out because he was having personal problems, mental health problems, etc., which is fine. And then he started to book shows later on, like a year later, with Bungle. And they were mad and sad. And so he's saying, it seems like he couldn't tour. He couldn't tour with Faith No More, but now he's choosing not to. And that choice has seemed to have driven a wedge between the band, which is, very sad. Just very tough. So yeah, it breaks my heart. I want to see Faith No More come back. I love Mr. Bungle also. I want these bands to return, but it seems like interpersonal problems are the thing. Gigi Fan is here. What up? Good to see you again. Aaron Awesome is back. Will Noddy is back. Tilani Willa is here. Or Tiliani. Sorry if I said that wrong. I apologize. But yeah, that was a bombshell today. It was a real bombshell. Making the rounds. Also, Dark Angel dropped a brand new song last week, and the fans are divided. I love the song. Reddit is agog at the song and the production, produced by Gene Hoglan, the Atomic Clock, the greatest drummer in the world, basically. And people didn't like it. People didn't like the song. They don't like the singer. They don't like the production. Give it a chance. Give it a chance. We heard one new song out of an album that's coming out in 6 weeks. Calm the fuck down. Here's the artwork for the album. I think it's pretty fucking cool. Extinction Level Event is the artwork. At least it looks better than most artwork has looked lately in metal. I'll put the price thing back up. So Gore, here's that Gore news. We were being asked about Gore earlier. Gore is releasing a special 40th anniversary multimedia release. They put a brand new song and video out, Lot Lizard. They have some other new stuff coming, and a special king-size comic book with G2 Comics, The Return of Gorgor, which Gorgor is going to prominently feature in their next touring stage shows and stuff like that. I'm all for it. Gore, it's going to be cool. Good song. Kind of nasty, like Gore likes. I love Blothar's singing. He's not Brocky, but he's fun and funny. And, Gore is very consistent. They're putting out another new release under their own label. They're kind of off Metal Blade right now for the first time in their career, or the second time in their career. And, I'm very interested to see what this little release does and if it leads to another full release. But they did just put a new record out a few years ago, so we shall see. Here is Mike of NoFX, and if you know anything about Ghost Cult on YouTube, our third most watched interview is with Mike of NoFX, talking about the end of NoFX, now retired, and Mike is just running the Punk Rock Museum. I do believe Fat Records is going to get sold off at some point. And he is part of a big documentary originally produced and about SBAM, or SBAM Records, or SBAM, the record label that is a DIY punk record label that puts out a lot of stuff. But they were started to make a documentary about that label, and it just bloomed into a huge documentary about punk rock. So I think that's actually fucking cool. The trailer is out now. You can check it out on our site. Lots of documentaries and things coming out soon. Cryptopsy announced a new record and dropped a new song and video. Very excited for the great Eastern Canada tech death master to put out a brand new album. So stoked. Matt Sabbath is coming on tour yet. Supposed to have done a farewell tour. This is what I wanted to talk about. They announced kind of a farewell tour, and then there's no actual farewell tour. They just keep touring. So are they not touring anymore? Are they touring anymore? Will they put out new music? We don't know. They did celebrate like a 10th anniversary at the end of last year. So I'm like, if you just, it's like Kiss. If you just keep not retiring, you're not retired. This is really cool. I thought this is really cool. There's a series of tribute albums, kind of similar to what Magnetic Eye does. And I thought this was really fun. This is a Pink Floyd tribute album to Wish You Were Here, my favorite Pink Floyd album, which has celebrated 50 years this year. And look at these names on this covering Pink Floyd, like Hippie Death Cult, Who You Know I Love, Duskwood, Moss Generator, Sergeant Thunderhoof. So very fucking cool. There's a Kickstarter on. I'm very tempted to go in on this. This looks real cool. Those are the 3 vinyl variants. There's also CDs. You can just back it without buying a record. There'll be a digital download. Very cool. King Parrot dropped a new song. You know they're going on tour. They just toured with Pantera, and they have some other new stuff going on. And they will release a new album soon. So very fucking cool. This is the big story this week. So Ken Badine, who has been in Aborted for 15 years and across many albums, was summarily dismissed from the band. There's a lot of rumors as to what. We haven't had a statement from Ken. We haven't really had a statement from Aborted, but I'll read you the one we do have, which says, effective immediately, Ken Badine is no longer a member of Aborted. The upcoming European tour is going to go forward as planned, with blast duties being handled by none other than Kevin Paradis, who formerly was in Benighted. And I believe all dates will be honored. So this big Aborted tour is coming up, and looks pretty sick. It's coming up in May. And I believe Slashing Europe, Crypta, The Zenith Passage, and Organectomy are the opening bands. So I don't know what happened with Ken. There's a lot of rumors. We don't know for sure. It actually kicks off a week from today in Tilburg, the Netherlands, where Roadburn is right now. But best of luck to everybody involved. It's always tough when you lose a long-term member. We're coming to the end here, folks. Devil Wears Prada dropped a brand new single this week. It's kind of emo and sappy, but I thought the video was beautiful, and they have tour dates coming up later in the year with Ice Nine Kills. They Watch Us From the Moon is here. Good band there. Good to see ya. Good to see ya. So yeah, I don't know. Hey, Chris Enriquez passed by. Good to see you. Max B Runs Miami is here. What up? What up? What else? What else? What else? This is Greet Death, brand new single and video out. Very cool band. This one I was waiting for. Electric Citizen is dropping a brand new album, and they dropped a brand new song and video. Love this band. Super high on this band. Very cool and very excited. They signed, I believe, to Heavy Psych Sounds, one of my favorite labels. Burner on Church Road Records dropped a brand new standalone single. They've got some touring and festivals coming up. So sick, so brutal, so heavy. I'm here for it. Really cool. Also, Hollywood Undead dropped a brand new single and video, a remix. Remixed one of their older songs from their last record. Back with the Masks. They hadn't done the Masks in a few years, so this is kind of fun. You know that we had an interview with them not too long ago, maybe a year and a half ago. Pretty cool. Here is Gruesome, led by Matt Harvey, also of Exhumed. They have a brand new single and album coming soon. We interviewed Matt about his many projects last year. Very fun and very cool dude. Also, this is Fallujah. Interestingly enough, pictured here in the snow. They are from the Bay Area, but maybe they were up in Nevada or something where mountains in California get snow. They have a new single and announced a new album. It's new album announcement time as we crawl toward the summer. A fan at Hatebreed recently at a concert got dunked on by a trash can full of beer. This has to be one of the terriblest Gatorade bucket dumps of all time. And speaking of Hatebreed, Hatebreed is putting out their classic album Perseverance from 2003 for the first time on vinyl. That is coming soon. Stay tuned to martyrstore.net. That's Jamie's website where he sells all his merch and stuff. And I just want to shout myself out. C. Maldonado is here. I want to shout myself out for a second. I didn't even talk about it. We just passed our 700th podcast. We did it with kind of no fanfare after we made a really big deal about the 500 just a little while ago. Just this podcast has 700 episodes. So, it's this thing, 760 episodes. So he's just a little ahead of us. We've been around as long as he's been podcasting, maybe a little longer. And not all we do is podcasting. We go to festivals and shows and review stuff and do news. And he doesn't do any of that other stuff except tour, which is very busy. But I don't pat myself on the back. I'm proud of me. I want to shout out my partner, Omar Cordy, for that. Really great. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, everybody that has also done podcast content for us, not just us, and more to come. Here's another one. This was, I like when bands do collabs. It's kind of interesting when bands do collabs because we don't always get, all the collabs we need. This is Military Gun, one of the best hardcore bands right now, collabed with Daisy on a new track called Tall People Don't Live Long, which seems like backwards. And Ian Shelton directed the video. It's a standalone single track. Not sure if the band is putting out new music soon, but hardcore right now is kind of everywhere and everything. We're almost done with the show. Thanks for being patient. Angel is the band by the son of Isan. We were talking about Isan of Emperor earlier in the show. And this is some sick fucking shit. Oh my God. I love this song. Isan's son is Angel Solberg Tveiten, which is Isan's son. And this is his debut release, Veiled by Woe, available to stream now. And his demo is coming out. So very cool. He's 17-year-old Norwegian musician with a deep-rooted passion for music, a multi-instrumentalist, and won some awards. And he's been in cover bands and done studio stuff. And now he debuts Veiled by Woe, a self-written, performed 4-track project, and preparing for live shows with a full band. Very cool. That's on Bandcamp if you want to check it out. I will check it out. Maybe I'll do a review of it. Just so if you want to feel old as me, look at this picture of the Breakfast Club now and some of the Breakfast Club back then. Holy fucking shit. They recently got together for a live stream Q&A anniversary for the 40th anniversary of the Breakfast Club. Holy hell. I don't know if I love this or not, but I do love it, but I don't know. Yikes. Yikes. Okay. New Music Friday. Let's do the damn thing. It is time. The time has come. We are in the thick of music releases. This is the busy time of the year, as you well know. So let us do the New Music Friday. I don't have it up because I closed my screen earlier. And let's just look at the releases for tomorrow and this weekend, April 18th. We'll do it. We'll do band, album, title, label, genre. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Ancient Death, Ego Dissolution on Profound Lore Records. That's some old school cosmic death metal. Anoxia, Revel in Sin on Brilliant Emperor Records, old school death metal. Bosco Sancro, live at Chisel Armenia, Go Down Records for some more extreme music. Crypts of Despair, We Belong to the Grave on Transcending Obscurity, great Transcending Obscurity Records for some death metal. Divide and Dissolve, talked about them earlier. Insatiable on the Bella Union label for some drony doom. Dormant Ordeal, Tooth and Nail on Willowtip Records for some more death metal. We ran that review this week. Imperium Sanctum, Detached from Reality, self-released progressive metal. Exterminatus, Echoes from a Distant Start, Part 1 for some death metal, self-released. Face Yourself, Martyr on Sumerian Records for some deathcore. I know a lot of you love deathcore. Also, Gamma Bomb, the great thrash metal band from Ireland. Gamma Bombs, Necronomicon, Automaton. What a badass name. Necronomicon, Automaton. Sorry about that. Prosthetic Records for some thrash. Great band. Horrid Human Condition, Perpetual Imbalance, Time to Kill Records for some crusty grindcore. Icosandria, Tree Wax, Void Intention Split EP for some grunge and shoegaze. Iron Lung, Adapting and Crawling on Iron Lung Records, pretty great release. Karg, Marauder on AOP Records for some experimental black metal. King Garcia, Hamlin on Vikisolum Productions for some Greek prog rock. King Kraken, March of the Gods on self-released for some more stoner rock. Melvin's 1983 with Thunderball. I love any album named after a James Bond film. I got this in the mail today, so I gotta go spin it later. On Ipecac Recordings, Minoc and Eurocyan, split release, self-released atmospheric black metal. Operation Suffocate, Feudal Age, The Doorway to Label, heavy industrial and noise music. We talked about that label earlier. Red Moon Architect, October Decay on Noble Demon Records for some Finnish melodic doom metal. Russ Ballard, the great former Argent songwriter who wrote God Give Rock and Roll to You, did a cover that his own song, covered his own song. Guess it's not a cover. Songs from the Warehouse, the hits rewired on Frontiers SRL for some big arena rock. Thick and Beautiful, we just ran that review. Horror Vacui. Black to Black Records, our reviewer there wrote, what if Rob Zombie was a woman? That's the Sick and Beautiful tagline there. Tetramorphe and Pure, The Sunset of Being on Aesthetic Death Records. There's some Death Doom. This Quiet Army, welcome back. Languid Hybrid on Consoling Sounds for some drone and experimental music. Ungraven Hollows made homes in their sunken cheeks on Heavy Psych Sounds for some experimental drone psychedelia. Vulcanaz, Lufttut, Helter Skelter Records, some blackened psychedelic metal. And I think that's it for this. There's a couple this weekend, but that is all the records this week. And Unidad Trauma dropped their EP this week that we also reviewed. So we talked about them earlier. Pretty fucking big new Music Friday. And I don't know if Jim is still here. He might have had a jet. Jen City passed by. What's up, Jen? Good to see you. Miss you, friend. Just this is really funny. Wally's in New Hampshire, which is a place we've covered some shows before, goes, for anybody not at the Deftone show tonight, we will play it on the jukebox and cry together. Damn funny. Damn funny. Time for the mailbag. And as Jim pointed out, is that the Lollapalooza book behind you? It is. I got this sent in the mail. I already dinged the fucking cover because of the packaging, but I'm super stoked about this book. Lollapalooza, the uncensored story of the alternative rock's wildest festival. I don't know if you saw it. There was a Crispies here. There was a really great documentary on Hulu about Lolla and its importance and its hugeness. I went to a bunch of these. I wish I had gone to the first two. I did not. Wasn't really going to shows like that. But this is really cool. And this is written by two of the best music writers ever, Richard Beanstalk and Tom Boujour. I've interviewed Tom Boujour before about his book he co-authored about Eddie Van Halen from a series of interviews he did with Eddie. And then Tom Boujour, Rich Beanstalk is also one of the best music writers of all time. It's a New York Times bestselling authors. Jane's Addiction, Pearl Jam, Tool, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nine Inch Nails, Smashing Pumpkins, Hole, Green Day, Ice-T, Rage Against the Machine, Sonic Youth, and many more. And of course, you know, Kurt Cobain infamously turned this down, did not want to do it. The book is, let's see, looks like around, about 400 pages plus the notes. And there's a big photo section in the middle here. There's some wild shit going on. Rollins Band, Jane's Addiction, probably never coming back. Pearl Jam, Jim Rose Sideshow Circus, Ice-T, Sonic Youth, Tool, all kinds of crazy shit in here. Rage Against the Machine when they were naked, which they did a few times in their career. So very cool. Nick Cave in the band scenes and Wayne Coyne of Flaming Lips. So this thing looks amazing. I'm going to read this and review this soon. I'm trying to catch up on a bunch of book reviews, Randy Blythe, and a few others that I'm working on currently, and I'm expecting a couple more in the mail. But this guy is beautiful. I'm interested in how it's going to read. The back cover has like a collage of all the names of the bands and a little press call out here. So this is beautiful. This cover is on a beautiful paper. Wish I hadn't dinged the book already before opening it to read it. I usually beat up my books a little bit. But yeah, check this Lollapalooza book out. If you're of a certain age, you probably care a lot about this festival. I know I do. And that is our show. That is our show. Once again, thanks for hanging in here at a somewhat manageable hour and 21 minutes. I greatly appreciate you all. As I say every week at this juncture of the show, it is a tough time in the world. So please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and stay as metal as humanly possible. And I am going to dance a jig on the way out, as I always do. I appreciate you all. And thanks for watching one more time. Oh, that was cool. I did the whole book review with the camera off, didn't I? Haha, I did it again. I'll just show you the book really quick because I'm a goofball. Nobody messaged me to say I can't see it. It's kind of funny. Here's the book one more time. Lollapalooza. The uncensored story of Alternative Rock's Wildest Festival. Once again, here's the book. It looks pretty cool. I think it's retailing for about $30. So if you're of a certain age, like a Gen Xer like me, you need this in your life. And once again, have a great weekend. I'm your host, Keefe. Check out ghostcultman.com. Stay tuned to your socials for more news and interviews coming soon. Time to dance a jig, and peace out. Bye.